Tara, did you have roll call?
Yes, I'm just attempting to go live on YouTube right now.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Oh.
And of course, welcome, David. The approval, sorry, Tara, were we all good?
Yes, we're all set to go. Thank you.
Okay, great. The minutes that had been missed for last meeting there, January 20th, were distributed. Did everyone have an opportunity to review those? And were there any questions or concerns from them? Okay. Do I have a mover for the approval of the January 20th, 2022 minutes? Kelly? And do I have a seconder on that?
Yep.
Nick? Okay. All in favor of approving the minutes from January 20? Thank you. And do we have any declarations of pecuniary interests today? Hi,
Nick
Nick.
has one. Hi. I believe there's a funding application for the TDF for something called Ultra Trail Stopley Creek, which I'm involved with.
That is on the agenda. Okay. Excellent. So you will not be voting on that.
Correct.
Excellent. With that, we will move into item number 4, our new business, and we'll start with the tourism update. I'll turn that back over to you guys there, Travis and Alana.
Okay, thank you, Beverly. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the update. I think everybody's got the report and hopefully has had an opportunity to review it. There are a few items that I wanted to note. And I guess first and foremost, I'd like to note that in terms of overall mat collections last year, we were only $270,000 off of our collections from 2019, so our last pre-COVID year. And what's really interesting is, you know, obviously the first 6 months were horrible because we were stuck in lockdown for a portion of it. But when you look at the last 6 months of the year, we were only $1,000 off of 2019 for the same period of time. So I thought that was worth noting, and you know, obviously quite promising. So you know, it's definitely of interest when you consider the fact that the train was you know, inoperable for a good portion of its regular season and then only at half capacity. So it was nice to see that. With that, I'd just like to caution, we did have a call, or I had a call with Destination Northern Ontario last week. And with respect to this year and the, I guess, more flexibility in terms of travel outside of Canada, they are considering that we might see a slight downturn this year as we see some of the Ontario travelers and in Canada travelers starting to visit, you know, whether it be the US or elsewhere. You know, obviously we're doing our best, and we're going to increase our marketing into the US, and hopefully we can offset some of the dip in Ontario travelers with, you know, increased visitation from Michigan. And I think that obviously will be buoyed with the recent announcement with respect to dropping the testing as of April 1st. So we're hopeful that we can make up for some lost provincial travelers. And I guess the last item that I wanted to just at a very high level, just let the board know that we are continuing our conversations with Watco. You know, they are, as everybody's aware, at the end of January, they did take over operation of the rail line. You know, they're doing their best to kind of prep for this season, and we're hoping to get more information from them, you know, within the coming weeks. So they've been a good group to work with so far, and hopefully can continue that relationship. And it looks like Nick and Kelly, and I think Kelly was first.
Just want to mention that tour operators are asking on an ongoing basis what the update is. And I'm sure you're aware of that as well, but we couldn't need more information to support this summer and the future of our summer any quicker than yesterday.
Same sentiment from me too, Travis. I mean, just individual travelers. I have family that's coming up in September, and I hadn't even looked, but they're like, we tried to book on their website, and there's no way to book tickets right now. I was just wondering if there's any updates on when single seat tickets would be available.
Yeah, I had a conversation with them this morning, and they're in the process of updating their website. I believe what they had indicated, it should be up and running within the next couple of weeks, and then they'll be able to process sales at that time. So I'm just waiting for final confirmation, and I would put the caveat that we don't have direct insight in terms of their activity. So I'm going off of good faith there when they're saying that it'll be available within the next couple of weeks. And Kelly, to your point, I had a call from Indiana this morning asking the same issue. So we're trying to nudge Watco along as quickly as possible.
I just wondered if there was an opportunity for Watco to go public and give us an update rather than funnel through tourism at this point.
Yeah, certainly a good point. I know we had requested that in the past, and it's certainly something that we can follow up with them and try to persuade them to do so.
Richard?
On another matter is this morning I was on a Zoom call, and I did find out, this is from Peter, and I can't really pronounce his last name, but he's the general manager on the Bridge Authority, and he's now on the Bushplane board. But he brought up that the Carbide dock has to undergo major renovations to the tune of 22 million. So is the cruise ships scheduled for this summer? Are they using that dock, or do you think there's an opportunity for them to come over on our side?
I can speak to that, Richard. From what I've heard, the cruise ship schedule has been solidified and approved for the summer. To my knowledge, we have, I believe it's 17 visits to Sault Ste. Marie, and I haven't heard of any change of ships that are looking, that were scheduled for the US side to come over here. So I was unaware of that. We can certainly follow up and see if there's anything that we can do there.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't aware of it. We do our guide things through, and they're still planning on coming across, which I find amazing. But anyways, when he said that, I was kind of surprised. So
yeah,
they had, I know previously you had plans in the works for quite an upgrade for that facility. So I'm not sure if that's what he was referring to.
yeah, he said it was a $22 million upgrade. So it's pretty huge.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Travis, anything else on the staff update?
No, not at this point, unless there's any additional questions.
Okay, thank you for that. We will now move forward with item number B, which is the Ultra Trail Stopley Creek TDF application.
I'll take that one. Okay, so we have an application presented to us from Bear in Mind Running for the Ultra Trail Stopley Creek. I will go through the application document, the TDF proposal, and review the scoring matrix as presented. We are fortunate that Nick is here today, so he will be available to answer any questions. His TDF application has come forward requesting $10,000 to support the Ultra Trail Stopley Creek in 2023. I'll read the recap of his description as presented in his proposal. The Ultra Trail Stopley Creek is Ontario's only qualifying event for Ultra Trail Mont Blanc World Series of Trail Running. The event takes place over 2 days in late September with a 100-mile discipline beginning at noon on Friday, September 23rd. The remaining 5 race distances commence at 5 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Saturday, September 24th. The objectives for the 3rd year of execution for this event will be to further cultivate the local diehards, so the 100-plus kilometer runners who are the backbone of this event, while continuing to grow overnight stay bases from the GTA, North Bay, Timmins, Sudbury, Kingston, Ottawa, and Montreal. Aiming for 100 runners in these areas. Coming from these distances, they're certain to consume overnight accommodations and have a direct spend in Sault Ste. Marie. As the Ultra Trail Mont Blanc qualifying race is very close to the border, there will also be a focus on targeting through social media Upper Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Illinois, Ohio, and Indiana. Participating partners continue to grow year over year as they create a world-class experience for the event. And there's a long list of supporting partners that were presented that offered either in-kind or support for the race. So the expected attendance for 2023, looking at a total of approximately 339 local, 70 regional, 100 from across Ontario, 42 from across Canada, 130 from across the USA, for a total of 700 plus participants, sponsors, and spectators for the event. In going through looking at the economic impact of the event using the out-of-town visitor days, we expect this event to exceed $35,000 in direct economic impact. So just a reminder, the sustainability of the event, this Ultra Trail Stopley Creek was launched in 2019. At that time, they received an award from Destination Northern Ontario for Tourism Innovator of the Year. 2020 was canceled due to COVID-19. 2021, year two, they received the Community Builders Award for Sports and Recreation. And in 2023, sorry, I just gotta get these numbers right. They will be having their third year. So the event budget, as presented, generates around $44,650 in registrations, and the expenses, including rental fees and all the additional pieces that go into executing the event, sit at approximately $54,000 in expense. Therefore, asking for $10,000 to support the Ultra Trail Stopley Creek event for 2023. I will go through the evaluation matrix that we use as the criteria to assess events. So visitor days for this event sit at approximately 700, offering a total of 14 points. Out-of-town participants, 6 points on that scale. It was scored very well with opportunity for growth at 10 points. Because this event does reach an international market, it has received 10 points in that category. 2 points for economic impact as it's less than 100,000. And the utilization of services, attractions, and suppliers, 5 points in that category. The season, as it is a peak season, it has scored the lower end of that core category at 3 points. Media exposure is international, and the frequency of the event, it is an annual event, so it scores 1 point in that category. And it does meet tourism priorities and objectives in the outdoor adventure category at 5 points, scoring it at 61, which puts it at the low end of the 10,000 plus range for TDF support. I will now turn it over to the board for discussion, and Nick is available to answer any questions you have.
Thanks, Alana. If I may start with a question here for you, Nick. The registrations at $44,000 there approximately. Can you elaborate with the growth of the event moving forward? Do you see substantial increase in what the expenses will end up being as you garner more registrations, or does the expenses stay right about the same, but you'll be anticipating to bring in more in that registration fee as the event grows?
Sure. Yeah. No. Thanks, Beverly. So I think that this is the last year that expenses are going to increase for us, solidifying more of our infrastructure. Most of it is going to stay exactly the same moving forward, and I don't anticipate registrations going much further north. I think I'm going to keep it around this area, but what I am hoping to grow is the segment of runnership that is paying the higher amounts for the longer distances.
Thank you for that.
Mhm.
Do we have questions from other board members for Nick with regards to the application in front of us? Kelly?
I was considering asking a similar question to what you had just asked, Bev. I think it's pretty safe to say that we have all seen, the outcome of this event and the positive impact it's had on our community and all of us at this table. Definitely supporting this event and the future growth of it. So yeah, really excited to have this at the table again for review.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I'd like to, sorry, Lawrence, go ahead.
Sorry, Nick, how many people are you getting for this event?
What we're hoping to have for runners, Lawrence, is about 350
Got it.
altogether for this year. And I think at the top and peak end of what that trail system and network over the 2 days can handle is probably about 500. And hopefully this is going to vault us into that date or that runnership range for next year or the following year. But at that point, just like your race, Lawrence, I think there is a cap in which is going to have to happen at some point. It's never, for this little promotional company that I have, this is never going to be the one that makes any significant money. And if I could just speak to it from, if I was sitting on the other side and just with you guys as board members today, I'd be pushing for this event mainly to solidify it as another marketing opportunity for our entire area, not just this event itself. And the opportunity, which is really cool this year, and I was a little bit on the fence with it when it happened, when Ultra Trail Mont Blanc partnered with Ironman. They sort of turned their whole operation into something that seemed like a money grab at the start, but I've changed my thinking to, as I reapplied for us to be qualifiers again, they said, yes, great. Okay. They still like us. Now we're on the radar in years 3, 4, and 5. When we're in that radar now, all I'm looking at is the biggest events that Ultra Trail Mont Blanc now has. It's an umbrella of events that leads up to their one weekend in France. And there's only 25 of them in the world. And there's nothing in Canada yet. So that's kind of my goal, is by year 5 to be in a position to say we've got the runnership to be able to apply to be Canada's only UTMB qualifying World Series race. That's the next direction I want to take us. And I had a chat with Alana too about something I haven't really spoke about a lot, and we're about to release it because I'm still working on the Bear in Mind Running website, and it'll be done soon. But we got this really, really neat opportunity to jump into the U.S. market, that Midwest market, when Chicago decided they're hosting an international running show this year in June. So I've bought us a booth. We will be down there representing Ultra Trail Stopley Creek. It's pretty neat too. When you sign up for it, they give you this unique link that you can send to all of your runner base and sponsors if anyone ever wanted to go down and see the show. There's motivational speakers from all different types of running, which is fantastic. Long distance, short distance, track. Like all the major sponsors are at this thing, and there's an events village, and there's only like a spot for 8 different events. So we're one of the 8 that will be at this trade show, which is super cool. We're really excited about that. And because it's the Chicago market and people that'll be there from Illinois, they know they'll know by the end of it that we're just a drive away to see us in September. So
Awesome.
Nick, I have a question for you because I know you mentioned about at some point having to cap the event. Would you think that say being tied in with say the Mont Tremblant thing you talked about in France, do you think you can grow this race to say, like, if we're going to cap this at 500 runners, I think you said is what the trail system can handle?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see this being like something that where you say, okay, why don't we have multiple races, people qualify for your main race, UT Stopley, and then this way, that's the way to, as the means of growing it, right? Having multiple races to qualify for yours, and then obviously further qualifications after that.
that's the best part, Don, and that's, down the road, obviously. I love that idea to create our own little mini Mont Blanc situation here for Canada, right? There's nothing to say that we can't have the World Series of trail running set up, province by province, and a finals happens here, or it's a rotating location where it would happen in a different province each year. There's so many things that if I didn't have a full-time job, I would be doing and wanting to execute. I'm starting small and growing, in increments that I can handle with the volunteer base that I have and the support that I have with you guys. But I mean, one of the coolest things when we capped in year one, Don, was just for a promotional aspect and a fun thing. What we did was we said, all right, we're going to reopen registration after it filled up for a lottery. So everybody who still didn't get in, we're doing a lottery. It's kind of like one of the other races I do in October for this hill running tournament. We get 75 to 100 people who apply to get into this race, and only 24 men, 24 women get selected for it. And it kind of makes it a little more exclusive that way, and random too. But I love where you're going with that. I mean, it's on my radar as well. The plan eventually for my Bear in Mind running is to have something happening every month. And it could lead into a situation. I don't want to interfere with any of the other races. Lawrence's race, the duathlon, the Mountain Maple Trail run the Great Lakes when that happens again. I'm strategically going to be placing myself around everything, but there's always the end goal is to have a series of events that are going to keep our local base happy and just reaching out across the border, which is going to get even more easier moving forward. So,
Nick, I believe in you, bud. You got my
thanks,
support.
Don. I appreciate it. But I mean, to that point too, maybe there's a situation that this trail system that we have is capped with this route. But then we bring, Lawrence and I together to figure out how the heck we get from Hiawatha to Searchmont and to finish at Stopley, and then the next year we go the other way. There's if we're going to have to cap at some point for Stopley and their trails, and we're going to keep growing, then that's something we can look at. We got the talent to be able to make it happen.
Kelly, did I see you had another comment in there?
Yeah, this is all very exciting, Nick. It just shows that there's so much potential with this event beyond where you're already at. So congratulations with that success. I just wondered if you had received any feedback from the participants that speak to visiting our area prior to the race weekend to kind of check us out, see what it's all about, test out the trails.
It was neat. Last year we had some people who had registered for the race. There was about 3 people who registered for the race, but then somebody got engaged or somebody had a last minute wedding that was able to happen because restrictions were lifting. So they weren't able to make it for the race, but they knew through our social media that signage was going up, and they would email me directly and ask for the routes to say, I still want to come. So they came a month and a half early. A couple guys from Toronto, one guy from Waterloo, one guy from Kitchener, and they came and they ran these courses themselves, spent room nights in our hotel a month prior just so that they could run these routes. One of the coolest things that people always say about this weekend is the vibe that they experience when they're picking up their packets. And last year, Algoma Highlands was running the packet pickup for us on day 1, which was here at the hotel. And then on day 2, of the Friday packet pickup, when the runners are already out there for the 100 milers, the outspoken is so great. So we have our entire Algoma Highlands team there handing out race packet pickups from 12 till 8 p.m. And that's one of the highlights that people say that is so great. We were staying at your hotel. You can just walk right behind the hotel and the packet pickups there. And I know that as a runner, it's convenience is key, especially the night before a race. They love our area. They love us, us as a volunteer base. We never stop hearing the praise from the people that come from out of town to hang out with us for a weekend and go through hell with us. But we're all, as volunteers, there to take care of everybody. And they've never experienced a level of hospitality. And it always makes me so proud of our volunteers and just us and our, they talk about, Southern hospitality in Texas and the South of the USA, but we definitely got a Northern vibe to it. And that's what keeps people coming back. So cool.
Awesome. Thanks, Nick. Any other questions for Nick or comments from the board? If not, we can move into a resolution for this application that's in front of us.
You need me to drop off the call?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Nick, I can just. I was gonna put him in a waiting room. No pardon.
Oh, okay. So the resolution that's in front of us here for the TDF application for Ultra Creek Stopley 2022 reads, be it resolved that Tourism Sault Ste. Marie recommend a $10,000 contribution through the Tourism Development Fund Conferences and Special Events stream to support the Ultra Trail Stopley Creek Trail Running Event September 23rd and 24th, 2022, and that a report be submitted to City Council for consideration and approval. Do I have a mover for this resolution? Dawn. And a seconder, Lawrence. And if I could call for a vote for all in favor of, and motion carried. Travis, do you want to message Nick back there?
We just messaged him, so he should be in momentarily.
Yeah, Tara
Okay,
will let him
perfect.
in the waiting room. While we're waiting, I'm just gonna let Thrive know that they're coming up.
Perfect.
Elena, they're already in the waiting room.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Tara. Is Nick back in?
No, not yet.
There we go. Nick, you're back with us? Welcome back, Nick,
Thank you for having me.
and congratulations.
Yes, you guys are the best. Woo!
Yeah, the motion was carried. So we are going to look at moving into a closed session now. So be it resolved that this committee proceed into a closed session to discuss matters concerning confidential third-party information. Further, be it resolved that should said closed session be adjourned, the committee may reconvene in open session to continue to discuss the same matter without the need for a further authorizing resolution. Municipal Act Section 239(2)I, a trade secret or scientific, technical, commercial, financial, or labor relations information supplied in confidence to the municipality or local board, which, if disclosed, could reasonably be expected to produce significantly the competitive position or interfere significantly with the contractual or other negotiations of a person, group of persons, or organization. Do I have a mover to go into closed? Joe, and a seconder, Lawrence. And all in favor to move into closed?